talked about a huge game in the Big Ten West Saturday, Wisconsin and Iowa, Kinnick Stadium. BTN tailgate will be there starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Remember this one right down to the wire last year in the conference opener. Badgers were done in by 4 turnovers. Hawks were able to turn one of them into a TD. George Kittle, the lone touchdown of the game, in a 10-6 win that ultimately decided the West. Kirk Ferentz, Iowa's head coach, joining us now to discuss Saturday's rematch. And Coach, you guys have won your last 2 games here, victories over Minnesota and Purdue after the loss to Northwestern. What has stood out to you in the last 2 efforts?
I just think we're growing as a football team right now, and the last 2 games, a little bit different circumstances, both on the road. But as much as anything, I think we're growing right now. Certainly our defense is playing the run better than they had the previous 5 games, so that's encouraging. And seeing the offense starting to gel a little bit. We're hardly there yet, but I think we're making progress.
You talk about the offense. You guys have given up 18 sacks, as I'm sure you're well aware, second most in the Big Ten. And one of the things we've been discussing quite a bit is how can you help out CJ on that front? What have you been trying to do to kind of alleviate some of the pressure on him?
You know, I've told our folks here it's really a team thing, and it might be a receiver not run the right route, right depth, etc. It might be a breakdown in protection. It might be a back missing a protection. It might be a misread in terms of a hot or a side adjustment, those types of things. So, yeah, it's really been a team effort, and I think that's kind of what I was referring to is about our offense. I think we're becoming a little bit more cohesive, kind of settling in a little bit, and maybe being a little bit more decisive and just quicker with our play. But it's going to be an ongoing process. Hopefully, that's something that we can shore up that and our rush defense have both been things that were prominent in our thinking.
Right. I mean, the line of scrimmage was certainly an issue, definitely in the North Dakota State game and the Northwestern game as well. Do you feel like you're making progress on that front, which speaks to both of those issues you're talking about, protecting CJ as well as the run D?
Well, if we're not, we're going to be in trouble. Those are things that we have to do well to have a chance. And again, the last 2 weeks have been encouraging. Certainly this week we'll get a test on both sides from our very good Wisconsin team, and that's where they're strong too. Both lines of scrimmages, both sides of the ball, they're really tough.
Now let's talk a little bit about the Badgers, fresh off 2 narrow defeats to really good teams. You watch them, and man, they are impressive defensively. What stands out as you watch that group on tape and prepare here?
It seems, feels like it's been that way for a long time, like, about 18 years now. That anytime you play Wisconsin, they're just really a good football team. I guess we had about a 2-year hiatus in there somewhere, but, the staffs have changed a little bit. Barry retired, and then, obviously some changes since then. Some things have changed schematically, but the one thing that hasn't changed, they're just really sound, very fundamentally sound, really well coached, and boy, they just play extremely hard. Anything you get from them, you've got to earn it, and that's kind of been a trademark since I came back here in '99.
What concerns you the most about them offensively?
Well, I mean, you start the running back. He's a tremendous football player, but it's like anything else. You don't do anything alone, and I think they've certainly got a good group up front. The faces change there. They just keep playing well. I don't know how many it's possible to find so many big people in the state of Wisconsin. Some of those guys are homegrown, and they are huge, but they're really well coached. They do a great job. Every position you look at, their tight ends do a nice job. The receivers are good, and then certainly I think the quarterback has given them. It's a position all of us are trying to get right. No matter any time you graduate, a good quarterback, and sometimes can be a process, but it seems like they've really settled in there too. So, typical of Wisconsin, it's just a really strong team effort.
You're involved in 4 trophy games. What can you tell us about what makes this particular rivalry against Wisconsin and the battle for the Heartland Trophy particularly significant?
Well, the trophy itself isn't that old. The concept of the Heartland Trophy began fairly recent history, but I'll go back again to when I got here in '81. It just seems like we've had so many great games with Wisconsin through the years. A lot of tough, hard-fought games, and when you think of a rivalry game, that's certainly what that's all about. If you're going to earn a trophy, you do have to earn it. Nobody owns it right now, so it's a jump ball, and both teams will compete hard. But you could remove the trophy from the equation, I think it'd still be the same kind of football game. Both teams are going to compete really hard, and typically it's a really hard-fought type football game.
The head coach of the Hawkeyes, Kirk Ferentz. Again, Coach, looking forward to getting to Iowa City ourselves for BTN Tailgate on Saturday. We will see you there.
Thanks, Dave. We'll look forward to seeing you guys.